What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Realistic Career Mode of the Wrexham. This is episode number 50. It's a bumper extra special episode because we're hitting the half-century mark. We're going to be doing a feature-long episode where you'll see us play out the entire month of January, which will also, of course, feature the January transfer window and deadline day. But before any of that, we just have to say a massive congratulations to Wrexham, who secured back-to-back promotions after they beat Forest Green 6-0 on the weekend. They are now heading to League One next season. Absolutely buzzing for the boys in League One next year. Hopefully they can keep up this run. Sort of following in my footsteps, I won promotion in my first season in League Two. We went up via the playoffs. Wrexham have done it automatically. Okay, fine, whatever. It's not a competition. But now they'll be playing League One next year. Whereas in the game, obviously, we are playing in the Championship. And today's Championship fixtures will include Rotherham, Hull, Blackburn, Sheffield United, Ipswich, and a cup game against Swindon as well. But as we look at the league table here, 11th as it stands, 24 games in, we're hit a slump. I'll be honest, we've hit a bit of a slump, but we're still going strongly and we're above the relegation zone, and that is all that matters for me in the first season in the Championship. Now, before we get into any games, I'm going to address some of the comments from the last episode. Keep these comments coming, by the way. Kai Brown said, do you use any sliders? I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I actually, I bump up the injury frequency and severity. I put them both up to 60. This is just because I think when, so the default setting is 50, and I just don't think you get enough injuries in a season. So I bump it up to get more realistic injuries and more frequent injuries, which is annoying, but it's more realistic. So I definitely recommend it if you want to run a realistic career mode. Now onto your transfer suggestions, which I asked for in the previous episode, and Jeff said to us, have a look at Dylan Williams as a left back. And funnily enough, Jeff, we actually did scout Dylan Williams when we scouted Luke Chambers as well. We didn't pick him up, but he's someone that is definitely on my radar. Then Ian came in with a bunch of suggestions. He said Levi Colwill, Patrick Dorgu, Kai Wagner, and a few Philadelphia Union players as well as Yuri Regier. Sorry. Colwill, he's now playing in Lecce. I just think he's 2 out of our league right now. Patrick Dorgu has got a big money move to PSG. Kai Wagner looks like he could be okay, so we're sent out a scout report to get further information on the German. And then Yuri Regier actually looks like a decent player here, playing for FC20 in the Dutch league. Looks like a good option at right back, so I'm going to keep my eye on him and keep an eye on how 20 are doing in the league as well to see if a move could be feasible. Who knows? And then Ian also suggested for a couple of striker options, Nelson Viper, who has moved to Crystal Palace in the game, and then a couple of Argentinian strikers, Julian Carranza, who he is actually going back to Argentina when the window opens. He is going to Godoy Cruz, so he's heading back to his home country, which I feel that's quite realistic. And then Quinn Sullivan, who has actually moved on to the Dutch league with Excelsior. But he looks like another decent option, and he's American as well, which, with our American and Canadian owners, I do like the idea of picking up a couple of American players. We then move on to the next comment where Camille suggested that Mendy may need replacing, which is something we are looking at. And then Camille also said that it might be time to look for a long-term replacement for Paul Mullin, a striker between 25 and 29 in their prime. Mullin's he's 31, so he's not getting any younger, so we do need to plan for the future, although Mullin is still my number one. Do not panic, guys, PM10 for life. And then, so I decided to have a look at the Championship strikers in that age bracket. Shay Adams, immediately, his contract's running up at the end of the season. Southampton aren't renewing his contract. He could be a good one to pick up, so let me know in the comments right now, do you think we should pick up Shay Adams on a free? Could be a good option. He won't be starting ahead of Mullin, so he might be a bit unhappy with the bench position that he'll play. He'll basically be playing backup, but he's got bags of Championship experience. He could be a really good pickup. I'll also be keeping my eye on Adebayo for Luton. He's a great option, and this man Taiwo Wanyi. I'd love to bring him in. Obviously, an absolute star in our realistic career mode on FIFA 23 of Nottingham Forest. He was a gem for us. If you haven't watched that series, by the way, definitely go and check it out. Taiwo Wanyi was an absolute baller for us. Rhian Brewster was another option, who is still only 25 years old, playing for Sheffield United, who look like they're going to go up this season, so maybe he won't want to drop back down to the Championship. But someone did ask us to pick up Rhian Brewster quite a few episodes. It might have been last season, actually, so he's someone that is already on my scouting list. And then Patson Daka was another option who I think is a brilliant championship striker, great experience in this league, a proven goal scorer. He could be a great option. Oscar Estupiñán scored against us a couple of times this season. He is fantastic for Hull. He is another one that I'm going to keep my eyes on. Basically, there are a lot of options here, which, you know, it puts me in good stead. Even George Hurst, who is playing for Ipswich, who are currently bottom of the league. So if he goes down, he could be a great cheap option to pick up. Let me know in the comments, out of the strikers that we've just looked through here, who do you reckon would be a good potential Paul Mullin replacement? Emmanuel Latte-Lath, another great striker. There are a lot of fantastic championship experienced forwards here. Sam Nom for Rotherham, if they go down, he could be a cheap pickup as well. Antoine Semenyo, I do like him, but I see him more as a winger than an out-and-out goal scorer. I want to make sure when we do eventually replace Paul Mullin, it is with an out-and-out goal scorer. Ellis Sims, once of Everton, now at Coventry, doing really well in real life for Coventry. He could be a potential option as well. 25 years old, so still to hit his prime. Dominic Solanke, I just think will be out of our price range. Ross Stewart was another one that I was potentially keeping my eye on, but 29 years old. He's been approached by Brøndby, I think it is as well. So, you know, his contract's running up at the end of the season. He was a potential free option. And then Fabio Tavares for Coventry as well. We're going to send out a scout report on him. So plenty of options, that is for sure. And then what I did want to look at as well is Premier League strikers in this age bracket. Obviously, I know the majority of them we won't be able to afford, but some of them, as you can see the Premier League table here, they're halfway through the season. The likes of Leicester, Leeds, West Brom, Burnley are all struggling. If some of those come down, some of these strikers might want to move on, and someone like Emmanuel Dennis or Lyle Foster for Burnley could be fantastic options. Emmanuel Dennis in particular has bags of experience. Lyle Foster, good potential as well. Carlon Grant, I reckon, could be picked up on a cheap. 28 years old. It's crazy that he's only 28 years old. I feel like he's been around forever, Grant, but he's got bags of EFL experience as well, so it could be a great pickup. Raul Garcia, big release clause, so I don't think we'll be able to afford him. West Brom have Josh Maja, you know, once of Sunderland, then moved over to the French league. Now at West Brom could be a good option. We'll send out a scout report for him. Obviously, if West Brom go down, we might be able to snatch up one of these players for cheap. Joel Perreault, once of Swansea, now at Leeds, got them promoted last season. 26-year-old Dutchman, he would be a fantastic option. Leeds in a relegation scrap as well. They're currently 19th, so we could potentially pick up Perreault. Basically, there are loads of options, guys. Let me know in the comments, who out of these strikers are you liking the vibe? Who do you think would fit into our team quite well? Dennis Undav had a great spell at Stuttgart this season in real life. He's now playing at Brighton, but is he getting much game time? I don't know. Would he be willing to drop down to the Championship? There are plenty of options. And speaking of the Premier League, actually, I want to have a look because they are halfway through the season. Yes, Arsenal are top, but look who is second. Nottingham Forest. Now, I feel like you don't really get this in career modes with clubs like Nottingham Forest flying like that when it's just the computer playing the game. 38 points on the board. They've averaged 2 points a game as they push for European football for the first time in a couple of decades. We, of course, took charge of Nottingham Forest in FIFA 23's realistic career mode. 4 seasons we played with Forest, and in that last season we won the Premier League and the Europa League as well. I definitely recommend checking out that series if you haven't already. It was a lot of fun. I really did enjoy it. As we sift through the emails heading into the January transfer window, plenty of players leaving on loan. Smart and McAllister both heading to Sutton for 2-year deals, whilst Dexter Riley will join Bristol City for the remainder of this season. I still have higher hopes for Dexter Riley, so I hope that he gets plenty of game time for Bristol City and then he comes back a few ratings higher. Alex Smithies departs. He goes to Barnsley, whilst Alan Brown heads to the Riverside and Middlesbrough. So happy that we've managed to move on a couple of the players that we were looking to sell. There's still a few players that we're looking to sell in this window. Hopefully we'll be able to move on some of those, but a couple of them off the books already, which I'm happy with. Although we're now a bit short in the midfield area with just Koulibaly, Devine and Evans as our recognised centre mid / CDMs. I think we may have to pick up 1 or 2, but looking at the budget, we only have 1.7 million, so it's not a lot to play around with. Might have to dip our toes into the free agency market. As we just mentioned, we only have 3 recognised midfielders. We're not going to be selling one of them. Pisa, you can get out of here. George Evans is staying with us. In terms of the options, I had plenty on the shortlist. Joe Rawls spent plenty of time in Wales with Cardiff. 32 years old now, 69 rated. I don't know if he'd be a good option. Stuart Armstrong, another experienced centre mid at Southampton. His contract's expiring at the end of the season, so he could be a player we pick up for free. But then I saw this man was on the free agency market, and I thought, this is perfect. James Milner, the man who's done it all. He's won it all, and he's going to be a future Premier League Hall of Famer. He's won 3 Premier League titles, 1 Champions League, 2 FA Cups, 2 League Cups. He was named PFA Young Player of the Year back in the 2009-10 season. He even received an MBE last year. He's played over 600 league appearances for the likes of Leeds, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Manchester City, Liverpool and Brighton, and also represented his nation over 60 times. He's just one of those players that never causes issues. He's a manager's dream, one of the fittest players in whichever team he's in as well. Apparently his fitness is just incredible considering his age. 39 years old now, as it says there, a player for the history books. And I thought what an honour it would be for Milner to see out his career at Wrexham. So we snap up Milner on a year contract, but I feel like maybe he might retire at the end of this season. Now, I wanted to give Milner the number 38 because that was his number when he started his career at Leeds. I thought it would have been a nice fit-in, story, but unfortunately Elliot Lee is number 38, so I give him the next step up, number 39, which is also his age, so a bit fitting. I quite like that. So welcome, James. Not sure how long you'll be with us, but we're happy that you are here. We also see another youngster go out on loan. Curtis Griffith joining Grimsby on a 2-year loan deal. So I'm glad. Someone suggested a few episodes ago that we promote a bunch of our youth academy players and get them out on loan so that it gets their ratings up. I really appreciate that suggestion. They're heading out. We're trying to ship loads of them out, and then hopefully they'll come back with bigger ratings, higher numbers, and bags of potential. Well, and into the first game of the episode, it would be Rotherham at the Racecourse Grounds. Rotherham currently 19th right now, 6 points above the drop zone. They've won 3 of their last 5, so looking dangerous, the Millers, as they push away from that relegation battle. Jordan Davis, the former Wrexham player, in the starting lineup against us. Well, we would make 3 changes. James Milner in for his debut, whilst Hartridge and Guest are into the back line. And Tom Bradshaw, back from injuries in a Wrexham squad for the first time in 7 months. He is on the bench today. Well, we would take a 1-0 lead. Divine whipping it into Mullin. We dominated early stages, and Mullin's header from the corner barring in as he grabs his 10th league goal of the season. And then 25 minutes to go in the second half, we would get the second. Mason Guest with a fantastic assist here. Nice pre-assist as well. Witt's ball from Mullin out wide to Guest. Guest finds Lowry. And, well, the keeper, after getting such a strong hand to it, probably is annoyed that he hasn't saved it. But Lowry, with a desire, gets his head down onto it, and it sneaks past the keeper, and we have a 2-0 lead. We then made a couple of changes when I felt like the game was potentially safe, and Lowry with a great chance to get his second and our third of the game, but he crashes the shot against the post. And we would not extend our lead. And then in injury time, Nom would almost half the deficit and make this a nervy ending. Luckily for Fotheringham and his clean sheet, the shot would crash off the post. And then just a couple minutes later, the referee would blow full time in North Wales. And it's a 2-0 win, a great way to respond, because obviously in the last episode, we lost all 3 league games. So it was nice to come back with a good result like that, a really solid result. And we complete a league double over the Millers as well. So a really solid way to start off this episode. A win, a clean sheet, a nice debut for Milner as well, and a good return for Bradshaw, who got a few minutes towards the end. So all looking good as we look at the league table here now. 25 games in, those 3 points take us up to 9th, back into the top half, not far off the playoffs as well. I'm not giving up hopes on a 3rd consecutive playoff appearance in a third different league, but for now we carry on plugging away. As Ismaila Koulibaly comes to us and says that I don't know if it's because we signed Milner that he was a bit worried that his position was under threat. Yes, I know Milner started that game, but Koulibaly, look, man, he's a 39-year-old player who's at the twilight of his career. He's going to be ending soon, so your position is not under threat. Do not worry. Well, with Mullin's 10th goal of the season, he's up to 8th now in the standings, and that clean sheet for Fotheringham takes him up onto 6 out of 25. Up into 5th place in the standings. We reject a bid from Metz for Dominic Halworth. He's listed for loan, but they came in with a straight bid for him, but we do reject that. And then This was something that really disappointed me. I got an email here saying interest in Dylan Matthews. As you know, if you've watched this series from the start, we had a Youth Academy graduate, Dylan Matthews, back in season 1. Fantastic centre back, great promise, left-footed player. Man United came in for him and we had to accept the bid. And he was one that I was actually keeping my eye on because he has grown a little bit, but his price hasn't gone up too much. And I thought potentially we could bring him back to the race course next season and he could be one of our stars in our centre-back line for years to come, as he's still only 19. But by that email, Real Madrid have come in for him, and when Los Blancos come in for you, you do not ignore it. So it looks like the dream to bring Dylan Matthews back to North Wales is going to be ended before it even began, basically, because he's going to head to Spain and the Bernabeu. What a opportunity that is for Dylan Matthews. I wish him all the best. I'll keep an eye on him for sure. But yeah, what a career. From Wrexham to Man United to Real Madrid. Not bad at all. Well, heading into the second game of the episode, it would be Hull, who are 3 places and 3 points behind us, but no, a victory here would take them above us in the league table. We drew 1-1 back in August with them, Oscar Stupinian scoring before Paul Mullin grabbed a late equaliser for his first league goal of the season. It was a really nice finish, actually. That was quite a tight game, and well, it would be the visitors who would take the lead here. Disappointed with Fotheringham, to be honest. I thought that he could have saved this one. The shot wasn't too powerful and it wasn't too far into the corner either. But it does trickle in, unfortunately. And that was just minutes after Mullin's effort went just wide. A really nice curling effort from the edge of the box. Well, we would work the ball down the other end, and Elliot Lee forcing the keeper into a great save. That was good ball movement from the team, working it from one end to the other. But we would go into the half 1-0 down. Well, in the start of the second half, we made a substitution. Patrick Roberts on for Elliot Lee. Yet to see anything from Patrick Roberts this season. I really need to see him make an impact soon. And well, he'd pick up the ball here, and he must have heard me because he sets up Paul Mullin 3 minutes after coming on. Roberts grabs an assist. Paul Mullin scores against Hull once again, and we are level tied in this game. And after that goal, we kept up the pressure, kept getting shots on goal, forcing corners, and we would take a 2-1 lead. Eminem linking up again. Second goal of the game for Mullin, third of the episode. We were talking about potential replacements for Paul. He obviously took that personally. He said, hey, look, boss, I may be 31, but I'm still in my prime, okay? Stop that scouting for the other strikers. I am your bagsman for now. And hey, look, Paul, if you're going to keep putting them in the back of the net, I will not complain. Unfortunately, we couldn't hold on to the lead. A costly mistake from Captain Hayden as he gave the ball away and Hull got to work before Doherty putting in a really brilliant finish at the back stick to bring Hull level again. And then deep into injury time, Wes with a big save, denying the Hull captain what would have definitely been the winner, and the referee would blow full time. So back-to-back draws with Hull this season. We just can't seem to be separated. We share the points. Not a bad result. I mean, Hull started strongly, but we responded really well in the second half. It's just a shame that after taking the lead in the second half, we couldn't see it out. But as I say in the interview here, look, one mistake is costly, and it was for us losing those 2 points. So we're now 8 points adrift of Watford, who are holding that fourth and final playoff position. But, let me know in the comments, guys. Am I being too unrealistic by saying that we shouldn't be aiming for playoffs? It's our first season in the Championship. We're off the back of back-to-back promotions. Let me know. Do you think I should be aiming for playoffs? Do you think I should just be happy with the board's objectives of finishing mid-table? For me personally, from day one, my objective was stay in the league when we got to promote to the Championship. That was my goal, and it looks like we're doing that very comfortably. Well, before we head into the next game, it would be FA Cup time. Swindon, as we look at their league position, 18th in League 2 right now, 5 points above the drop zone. And as we look at their run-in, how they got to the third round, they needed 2 replays. Drew the first game 1-1, drew the first round, 1-1, drew the second round 0-0, and then won both replays 1-0. So not many goals in their games, but they have found a way to win. Will Swindon require 6 games just to get to the fourth round? Hopefully not, as we host them at the racecourse. 11 changes to the side that drew with Hull. Of course, we're always going to rotate for the cup games. Plenty of youth in the side and on the bench as well. The likes of Lloyd, Guest, Chambers, the Morris brothers and Williams all start. Whilst there's a first senior start as well for Samuel Mason at centre-back, I wanted to give him an opportunity today. Well, he wouldn't be happy, and nor would the Wrexham back line. 36 minutes on the clock, and Swindon would take the lead. It would have been a really poor game, not many chances for either side. Josh McEachran, once of Chelsea, the veteran, finding Ethan, I think the striker, and he grabs the go-ahead goal. Well, 10 minutes into the second half, Luke Chambers would pounce on a really poor free kick from Swindon. He would find Patrick Roberts, the half-time substitute, looking to make an impact once again for the second game in a row, but his shot is really well saved. Fantastic opportunity that was. But Chambers involved again, finding Roberts. Roberts into Devine. Alfie Devine cuts inside, whips in the ball, and there's Alfie Devine. This kid is special, man. 4th episode in a row with a goal now, and he is flying. Cuts inside, whips it towards the keeper. It's actually pretty central, the shot. The keeper definitely should do better with this, but I'm not complaining. We're level on the night, and now let's try and see if we can get the go-ahead goal and take the victory. But unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to. To be honest, it was a really, really poor game. I was impressed with Mason at the back, despite obviously conceding that goal. He made quite a few tackles. We dominated, had a few chances, but we didn't take them. Patrick Roberts' one-on-one chance in the second half was the clearest of them all. Devine did well to take his goal, and it looks like we're going to need another replay. Swindon, 3rd round in a row, they've needed a replay. We should have predicted that, really. As we look at the calendar to see when that replay will be, and it will be after the Blackburn game. So midweek, so you'll see us take on Swindon as well as we continue this bumper episode 50. And guys, make sure, if you're at the video right now, make sure you drop a like on the video and sub to the channel if you haven't already. The support on the channel and this series has been brilliant, so make sure to keep the love coming. Well, we would get a nice bid here for Patrick Armstrong from Peterborough, obviously. As they always do, they want to loan to buy. We delegate to put him on a 2-year loan deal. So hopefully he'll be able to agree that deal. I like the fact that he'd be staying in England and playing for quite an attacking team like Peterborough as well. And then Norwich come in with a loan offer. Well, again, loan to buy, but a loan offer for Tom Williams. And now I really like this deal. His form has dropped a bit for us, and now Bradshaw's back. He is going to be the striker on the bench, so there won't be much game time for Williams. So I like the idea of him going out on loan. He's still only 20 years old. He is young. I want him to go out on loan, get some regular game time. So we delegate to see if Norwich will agree to take him for the remainder of the season. Hopefully they come back to us and say yes. Well, heading into the next game of the episode, it is back to league action and a tough one on the books for us. Blackburn Rovers at Ewood Park, 2nd in the league right now, pushing for a return to the Premier League for the first time in about 15 years. We lost 2-1 to them back in August at home, but we make 11 changes from the side that drew with Swindon, and we would take an early lead. Alex Lowry from Alfie Devine's perfectly placed pass. Lowry grabbing his 6th goal of the season and his 2nd in his last 3 games. But Blackburn would get to work, Sigurdsson whipping a ball in, and Markande would dominate Mendy in the air there. Really poor from the left back. The lead would not last long, 15 minutes on the clock, and we are tied at 1. But Alfie Devine provided the assist for that goal. It was Elliot Lee with the first assist. Devine with the assist for the second goal. Nice little ball roll before finding Lowry, who has his shooting boots on at the moment. He's filling that hole for Jewison Bennett, who obviously got that broken toe and is out for 3 months. He'll be back in the next couple of weeks. But Alex Lowry has really been filling those boots recently. So glad to see that. And we retake the lead here before Markande again. Look, these players are just going toe for toe. Lowry scores, Markande scores. You know, anything you can do, I can do better, says Markande. And Blackburn are tied once again. Into the second half now. The second half was not as frantic as the first, but almost a crazy own goal here, but for Hayden's clearance off the line. However, with 7 minutes to go on the clock, great save from Fotheringham here. He forces a corner. Buckley then works his way into the middle before Travis is found, and with 87 minutes on the clock, it looks like Blackburn have found a winner. Their first lead of the game, and it could be a killer one. Well, we're deep into injury time now. Last play of the game, Mullen, Alwetamendi, great pass, down to Lowry! Yes! Oh my God. This kid has been absolutely everywhere today. Alex Lowry hat-trick. Josh Earl with a fantastic slide tackle, by the way, to win the ball back in the dying seconds of the game. Mullin then picks a great ball out wide to Mendy, whose cross to Lowry is perfect. And Lowry just showing the confidence that he has right now. First touch to open up his body, and the second touch to just whip it, curl it, place it into that far corner, and Ewood Park is silenced. Hat-trick for Alex Lowry, second of the season after he scored a hat-trick in the cup demolition of Coventry earlier in the campaign, and we snatch a point away from Blackburn. I think it's a fair result. We led twice. It was a very open game. Blackburn, to be fair to them, came back and got what they thought was the late winner. But Alex Lowry collects the match ball and says, "I don't think so, Rovers fans. We'll be taking a point back to North Wales with us." Very happy with Lowry right now. As I said, with Bennett being out, Bennett was probably our player of the season before he got injured. So it was big boots to fill, but Lowry's been fantastic in recent weeks, and he's definitely been helping on the score sheet front, which is massive, because I feel like the last few seasons we basically just had loads of pressure on Paul Mullin to score. So it's nice the goals are coming from elsewhere. As you see the table now, we're 11th, but in a really tight pack, 7th down to all the way down to 12th, being separated by a couple of points. And then Nelson Viper, who was a player that Ian suggested we keep an eye on earlier in the episode, he has now gone from Palace to Man United, so he has got a big move there. And then an interesting one, Will Smallbone, the centre mid for Southampton. His contract is expiring at the end of the season. I don't know what it is with Southampton, but Smallbone, Armstrong and Shea Adams all being released at the end of the season. Now, Armstrong, I don't think I'll go in for. Shea Adams, I want you guys to let me know in the comments. Do you think we should go in for him? But Will Smallbone, I thought, would be a perfect pickup. Can play centre mid, cam or right mid. 25 years old, so at 73 rate, he's got plenty of room to grow. And I think with bags of championship experience, I think he could be the perfect pickup, considering our midfield positions are a bit short right now, only with Koulibaly, Devine, Evans, and of course now Milner. I think Smallbone, it's a no-brainer really. So we get into contract talks with the Irishman, and we agree on a 3-year deal, 17k a week. I think it's a really good pickup, and he will join us in the summer. Very, very happy with that signing. Smallbone, of course, he scored against us earlier in the campaign as well. So yeah, Will Smallbone will be joining us in the summer. Let me know in the comments, what do you rate that signing out of 10? As we look at the replays, plenty of games going to a round 3 replay as Tom Williams' loan move to Norwich is confirmed. We take on Swindon midweek. We make plenty of changes once again. Only one change to the side that drew to Swindon in the original fixture, with Roberts starting ahead of Tom Williams. In that game we changed formation a little bit. I don't think I mentioned it, but we kind of went to a 4-2-2-2. Or maybe like a 4-4-2, but with wider players and deeper DMs. It didn't really work for us, so we're sticking back to our 4-2-3-1 formation. Patrick Roberts in the cam spot behind Tom Bradshaw. Well, Swindon, just like they did in the first game, Ethan would grab his second goal against us in a week, and they would take the lead before a really good save here. I think that was that Mason Guest having a shot saved by the Swindon keeper. And then that guy, Ethan, again, I'm bloody sick of this guy. He scored 3 goals against us in a week. He doubles Swindon's lead, and it looks like a cup set is on the cards. Well, in the second half, we bring on Paul Mullin, and he is immediately involved, receiving an assist for James Milner, his first in a Wrexham shirt. And Mullin smashes the ball home to half the deficit with plenty of time to go. Come on, Wrexham. But unfortunately, they would regain that 2-goal lead. Swindon, Bonnie, the striker on hand in the box, smashing it past Nathan Lloyd. And that would be that. Cup set completed. Swindon, it's taken them 6 games, but they're into the 4th round. We crash out at the first hurdle. Really disappointing result that, especially considering the board. One of the board's objectives was for us to finish, get to the last 16 of this round of this cup competition. The fact that we're out is a bit of a killer blow. And talk about killer blows. Ismaila Koulibaly out for 4 weeks with a sprained knee injury. I don't even remember him getting injured. It must have been right at the end of the game there that he got injured. But Koulibaly, big loss there. He is out for 4 weeks. As as I always do this, I'd like to see who we would have faced in the next round, and it would have been Ipswich away, the side who are bottom of the Championship right now. That could have been a banker for us, as Tom Williams heads to Norwich, heads to Carrow Road for the last 6 months of the season. Hopefully he'll get plenty of game time. Well, the scout reports have come back in. Quinn Sullivan looks like a decent option, I might keep an eye on him. Kai Wagner, 79 rated left back. He could be a good pickup from Philadelphia Union. Norman Bassett, I forgot to mention him earlier, but he is a Belgian player who has now gone to Leverkusen, who, by the way, congratulations to Leverkusen, just won their first ever Bundesliga title. They've gone unbeaten. There are a few games left, but they have won the league being unbeaten. Incredible job by Xavi Alonso, who, when he took over last year, Leverkusen was second bottom. And now in his first full season as a manager, he's won the league unbeaten. Incredible, incredible display. And their season isn't done yet. They're on for a treble, an unbeaten treble. What a season it would be. I hope they do it. Good luck, Leverkusen. Well, we see the scout report from Yuri Regier as well. He looks like a really good right back, actually. That was a fantastic suggestion, and it looks like he won't cost too much as well. I might have to pick him up at the end of the season or in the summer, because Cyrus Christie is retiring and we only have Mason Guest and I guess now James Milner that can play right back. We'd need a long-term right back. He could be a fantastic option. We'll have to have a look to see where FC20 are in their Eredivisie. We're heading into the final game of the episode because Ipswich went through to the next round of the cup and we didn't. Our game against Ipswich on the 31st of this month has been moved back a few days into February. So this will be the final game of the episode, taking on the Blades, who are top right now in the Championship, ahead of Blackburn by 8 points. After we snatched a draw away from Rovers in our last game. We did beat Sheffield United 1-0 at Bramall Lane all the way back in August, I think it was. Foderingham picking up his first clean sheet for Wrexham against his former side. Could we complete an unlikely league double against the Blades? Well, normal service would resume as you would expect. The side dominating the league right now would dominate this game and take a lead in the first half. Gus Hamer, once of Coventry, now playing for Sheffield United, smashing one in past Foderingham at the near post, and they would take the lead into the first half. And then Ahmed Dosic, is that how you pronounce it, would find his teammate Vanat, and with half an hour on the clock, Sheffield United would have a 2-0 lead in what would look unassailable. And I'll be honest, look, I don't want to lie, with the highlights package, we were dominated in this game. If it wasn't for Wes Foderingham, this game would have been 5 or 6 because they absolutely battered us and we were very, very poor. But thankfully, the score remained honest and respectful, and Sheffield United came away with a 2-0 win, meaning we split the series fixtures against Sheffield United. We won at Bramall Lane, they won here at the Racecourse Ground. Fair's fair, And Sheffield United looks like they're going to go on and win the league, so it was a tough game for us to compete in. But with that being said, we're winless in our last 4 and 1 win in our last 8 in all competitions. It doesn't have me worrying because we've put so many points on the board early doors, but it now I feel like the playoffs might be out of reach. But thankfully, the relegation scrap looks like it's out of reach for us as well, as we have 18 games to go, so still plenty of ways to go. But I mean, the episode started so well. A win against Rotherham, a really solid performance. But after that, 3 draws and then 2 defeats, being dumped out of the cup. But yeah, maybe not a great spell for us, as we need to turn this form around to make sure we don't get dragged into a relegation scrap. I'm confident that we won't, but hopefully that doesn't happen. As Patrick Armstrong has his loan move to Peterborough confirmed, we reject a bid for Dominic Howarth, and then Elliot Lee, Darmstadt, coming in for him. But we reject that. And then Dare Healy, another youngster we're looking to send out on loan, we reject a bid for him. And then finally, a realistic bid for Lee Morris, a player we've been trying to sell all season long now. We've only had unrealistic bids for him, but in comes St Johnstone of the Scottish League. They come in for him. We finally agree on a deal for £1 million for the 19-year-old. So he'll be heading to Scotland, happy to get another player off the books, a player that I was looking to sell. And then we had our youth scout report from Stefan Coulson for England. Dexter Nicholson, the only player that I signed up to the youth academy, will be keeping an eye on him. But then there's 7 or 8 players that will continue scouting as we see Lee Morris move as confirmed. The Morris brothers are separated, unfortunately, but yeah, Ryan will be staying with us for now. Lee will be moving on, as Dare Healy gets a loan offer from Barnsley, which we want to accept. And then we reject a bid for Jacob Mendy as well, our left back. He will not be going anywhere. I do like Jacob Mendy, although we are looking at long-term replacements potentially. Well, Dare Healy's loan move to Barnsley is confirmed. He'll be linking up with now former Wrexham player Alex Smithies for 2 years, so hopefully he'll get some decent game time there. And as we see here, the deadline day is wrapped up, and we have a £2 million budget. And Camille actually suggested here that we send a scout out to USA. Camille said that they're doing a realistic career mode with Wrexham as well, which is cool to compare. By the way, if anyone else is doing a realistic career mode with Wrexham or a career mode with Wrexham, let me know in the comments. Let me know how your career mode's going. I'd love to know. It's always fun to see, compare how other people's career modes are going. So let me know in the comments, how is your Wrexham career mode going? But yeah, Camille says that we should send a scout out to USA, which is actually something we did in season 1. We didn't get too many good players back. I think Matthew Miller might be the only player that's on our books now. But because we only have £2 million in the budget, and the current scout that we have available is a 3-star, what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till the end of the season, carry over that 2 million, and then hire a 4-star, 5-star, or a 5-star, 5-star scout and send them out to America, because I think Wrexham's pool in America could be massive, and I think we could really get some young prospects from out there. So we're going to wait till the summer, and I will take on that suggestion. But that will be for today's episode 50, a bumper episode, a bumper special episode, really, to mark the half-century mark. I'm sure we'll hit 100 episodes at some point, and we will get to that stage. I wonder where we'll be, what league we're in, where we'll be. But yeah, thank you so much for the love and the support on the channel. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to comment your Wrexham career modes, how they're going. Also, let me know if you think we should sign Shay Adams on a free. Keep those transfer suggestions coming in as well, because the summer transfer window will come around and we'll need to bring in some new players as well. But thank you so much for watching, guys. Drop a like on the video, sub to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in episode 51 very soon.